Hey y'all, this is a quick video to explain some different options about how, as a business owner, you can pay your bills. There's a lot of different technologies out there to help you do that, and so I'm just going to walk through a couple. The background is I have a bill to pay. Normally I swipe my debit card or enter my debit card number online to buy something, but in this instance I need to send I need to figure out how to pay someone, and I don't have a checkbook. So now I got to explain to y'all how I'm going to do that. The first thing I'm going to tell you about is an application called Melio. It has bill pay functionality. It also has accounts receivable functionality, and I receive payments via Melio from my clients. I have another video about that I'll link to below, but in this instance, I want to send money. And so I'm going to show you that. Melio does integrate with FreshBooks on the accounts receivable side. If that's of interest to you, you can watch that other video. I also have the option of using my bank. I bank with Relay. I recommend it. My bank feed never breaks. It was built by accountants. It's got great customer service. I could use Relay to pay this gentleman. The third option I'm going to tell you about doesn't really apply, but I thought, I should let people know about this. So if you have contractors, you can use Gusto, and I'll explain that. Gusto's the payroll provider that I recommend, and I could use them to pay bills from subcontractors if I want. And then the last thing I'm going to touch on is actually inside of FreshBooks. They have developed a vendor and bill pay module, and I'm going to explain that. This is not going to be a way that you can actually send money, but I want to explain that for my FreshBooks fans because I make FreshBooks videos. So naturally, I'm going to just briefly touch on that. So we're going to look at Melio, Relay, Gusto, and then we're going to peek inside of FreshBooks, and I'll show you how to pay your bills as a business owner. All right, so if you go to the link below, I have a referral link for you to start your Melio account, but this is what it's going to look like, and you will create a logon. Probably you're going to have some administrative hurdles to jump through on your very first payment. That's normal. They're going to verify your bank account. They're going to verify that you're a business before you make that first payment. But then after that, it's, super easy, super smooth, doesn't take much time. The one thing I'm going to say about Melio is business to business payments. You can pay businesses and you can get paid by businesses, but it's not for personal. So I am in my Melio and I'm coming to pay, and I need to add a new bill. You can upload a file if you want to have the attachments on there, but I'm going to add this bill manually. Take a quick pause and I'm going to fill this out. Now for large enterprises, you can use Melio for like a more formal bill workflow where you maybe pay bills twice a month and there's an approval process, so you could save and close this. I don't have that. I'm just ready to schedule it, so I'm going to hit save and schedule. Pick the way I want to pay. In this instance, I'm going to send a paper check. If you have their ACH information, you can enter it here or you can ask them for that. And they've added international fund payments recently. I'm going to do paper check. Make sure your vendor name is on the check. Enter the mailing info. Submit and add delivery method. Note that this is saying paper checks take approximately 5 to 7 days, so you'll have to consider that as part of your workflow. You can leave a memo for your vendor. Review and confirm. Notice that this transaction fee is free. Confirm and schedule payment. Thanks, I'm done here. Just to point out a few things inside Melio. So as you're adding bills, if you haven't scheduled them, they'll be here in your inbox, the ones that are scheduled here. And then once they move to the paid status, they will be in this category. It's a great little tool. You can use it as you grow your team. There's a lot of efficiencies as you're growing your team if you want to start to have someone else be in charge of paying your bills. So next I said I would talk about Relay Bank. This is the bank that I use. It's the one I recommend. I have a link for that below as well. If you need a business bank account, if yours is clunky, this is all online. It was built by people who have worked in tech in the accounting industry, and it's a great bank for small businesses and takes just a few moments to set up. Here on the left menu, you can come to the payments tab. So within Relay, as you grow, Relay is a free business checking, but you might grow large enough to really need some accounts payable support from your team, and where you have those controls and those, signers and approvals and that sort of thing. So you can upgrade to this pro status. and automate your bill payments and that sort of thing. Again, I personally don't need that. I don't have a lot of bills that I pay. I mostly operate, I pay for things as I buy them, and they're not sitting in some sort of a queue. Let me just show you behind the scenes here in this little tab, Manage, about how you can add approval rules and recurring payments too. So that's some of the benefits that come with Relay. I've already scheduled this payment in Melio because I am paying business to business, but if I wasn't, I would go to New Payment. I would add a new payee. You're able to select from these different payment methods, ACH if you have the information, domestic wire, international wire, and check as well. So not so different from Melio that we saw before. Melio just also has that ability to get paid for free as well. All right, I said I would mention Gusto. So the bill that I had to pay, it wasn't quite appropriate to be using this, but you might have subcontractors that you need to pay. So maybe that's why you watch this video. You're thinking, oh, I know I've got these, not employees, but kind of members of my team, and I need to pay them. So if you came to team members here in your Gusto account, you would be able to add new contractors, and then over here in the payroll tab, you can go to pay contractors. Here's an example. I've got 3 different people I've paid in Gusto. So what I would say about this method is it's probably only makes sense if you already have payroll on Gusto. But don't forget that there's this functionality where you can pay contractors. And the benefit of this is that Gusto issues your 1099s for everyone who you pay, all the contractors who you pay through Gusto. So that in and of itself is a huge benefit. So as long as you're not paying them any extra money outside of these payments in Gusto, or if you do, if you have to tell Gusto about it, they will issue the full proper 1099 every January. You do pay for this though, so these are not free. It's $6 per person per month. Even you can pay them as many times as you want, but any contractor you pay in an individual month will be a $6 fee. All right, so let's go into FreshBooks now. So I'm here in the expenses tab. They do have something called bills and vendors. They also have this uploads where you can upload bills. Y'all, what I want to say about this, so this is a premium feature. It comes with basically the 3rd and the 4th tier of FreshBooks. I believe it's called the premium and the select. And at this point, I'm not going to walk through the tutorial of how to do this. What I want to emphasize is that this does not allow you to pay your bills, or does it communicate with any outside processor that's going to allow you to pay. So this is really just for if you want to record your bills so you can kind of see like, oh yeah, I know that I'm going to owe that in a month, or so it would kind of show up on some dashboards. But if you're not in your FreshBooks every day and really using your FreshBooks as like a financial hub that you're looking at, just pay your bills and they're going to be pushed into FreshBooks as expenses. It gets a little complicated because FreshBooks is calling vendors different than merchants, which is what when you label stuff that you've paid that your bank has pushed into FreshBooks, you're labeling that as something called a merchant. So this is a new feature in FreshBooks. I just felt like I needed to talk about it. You can enter bills in here. I haven't done a video yet about how to actually reconcile those. So you're going to enter a bill, and then eventually that cash is going to come out, and you're going to have to tell FreshBooks that those two match. And there's a special process for doing that. That's it's not a hard process, but you will definitely want to make sure you know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to have you're going to have twice as many expenses. It's going to say that the bills, even though it's not paid, that the bill is an expense for you, and then the bank is going to push the payment through as an expense, and so you'll be double counting. But this is where you would go to kind of start messing with the concept of bills in FreshBooks. And again, it's just for recording, and if you're a cash basis filer, this is going to be kind of pointless anyway. It's only for your own own documentation. If you want to see here in this dashboard that it's a certain amount or overdue, and then the total that you have outstanding, but this is only going to be as good as the data that you have entered in here. So you'll have to decide if it's worth it to you to do those extra steps. All right, well, I got my task done. I scheduled a payment for the person I needed to pay. I hope this was helpful for you. If you are a FreshBooks user, please subscribe to this channel. I come out with a video every Tuesday. And feel free to comment below about which option you took. In the description of the videos, you're going to find links to all of these. The links to Melio, Relay, and to Gusto are all affiliate links. I'm very rabid about making sure I disclose those, so you know that, but you make the choice about whether these products are good for you. Also comment below if there's another video that you'd like me to make. I'm happy to answer all the FreshBooks questions that y'all have. I'm Kate Josephine Johnson, and I help businesses build their business legacy.